You know these gaming headsets that you guys wear whenever you guys are gaming or playing or announcing, commentating, right? Well, apparently wearing one of these saved somebody's life. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier today, the Gaming Weekly got a report that a young gamer was literally playing his video games and his life was saved just because of the headset that he was wearing. Get this, during his gameplay, he was actually playing his video games on the PlayStation, and what happened was a bullet would go through right the window, and on top of the headset, it would crash right at the tip, and it was absolutely incredible. The entire headset would bend, the metal inside would be completely destroyed. It was unbelievable, but get this, thankfully, he was wearing his headset, because if he was not wearing his headset, that bullet would have gone through his head, and unfortunately, he would have been killed. But thankfully, he was, and it looks like he literally dodged a bullet. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I actually myself couldn't believe what I read. In fact, I did not believe the story until I saw the video and I saw the articles. I was reading the articles and all the details, obviously, on display. And I'll tell you, this is probably one of the most insane stories I read all week long. The fact that a gaming headset, was able to save a young man's life, thankfully. But a headset! So, we're going to go ahead and dive right into the article. This is from CBS. The title being, Gamer Says Headset Saved His Life When Stray Bullet Flew Through Bedroom Window. So it says here, and I quote, Jonathan Gonzalez was playing PlayStation with his friends on April 1st at around midnight when he felt like something hit him in the head. It felt like if you're wearing a bike helmet and someone just smacks the top of your head, he told CBS Los Angeles on Wednesday. Gonzalez's family is feeling blessed after being literally centimeters away from tragedy. It's still a trigger for me to process the thought that I could have lost my son, said Gonzalez's mother, Jeanette Popka. We were asleep, and if it did hurt him, we would not have known until we woke up hours later. Jonathan, 18, began screaming, thinking he'd been shot. If it wasn't for those, or at least the headset, on my head, it probably would have went through, he said. He looked up and saw a bullet hole in his window. The shot apparently ripped the curtains over the window fixture off the wall before ricocheting around the room and landing on his bed. Luckily for Jonathan, he was wearing a Razer gaming headset, which somehow stopped the bullet from hitting him in the head. Hey, these headset people probably are so delighted to be getting all the attention, the media attention. I mean, that's good publicity if you ask me for these people who made the headset, for Razer gaming headset. You gotta get one, guys. Anyhow, let's continue here. You can see the damage, Gonzalez said, as he showed CBS reporters the point of impact left by the bullet on the headset. Responding LAPD officers couldn't believe what they were hearing when they arrived to survey the scene. They couldn't find a shooter in the area and indicated that the bullet probably wasn't fired from close range. Still distraught, Gonzalez said of the very close call, thinking about it for the first week made me sick. The family's still hoping an arrest can be made, but in the meantime, they're learning not to take the little moments for granted, especially with how suddenly life can be turned on its head. Razer sent Gonzalez a brand new headset after learning of the incident. Wow, how generous. Well, listen, I'm trying to process this entire thing too. I mean, first off, can you imagine what Jonathan must have been thinking? Here's a kid, here's a person in Jonathan who's just enjoying his night, he's playing his friends, and he's basically just playing his video games on the PlayStation, and all of a sudden, boom, a bullet at the top of his head. I mean, I'm not quite sure, folks. I think luck may have been on his side that night, because let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if he chose to play his video games without a headset, then that bullet would have gone right through his skull. And can you imagine what he told his friends after? Hey, I'm not lying when I say this, you know, you were probably dodging bullets in your game. In real life, I literally just dodged one. But anyhow, we understand that there are videos concerning this incident. We're going to go ahead and play the videos right now.
A gamer says his headset saved his life when a stray bullet came through his bedroom window at his home in Los Angeles.
If it wasn't for these on my head, I mean, it probably would have went through.
18-year-old Jonathan Gonzalez says he's lucky to be alive. He says he felt something hit his head one night when he was playing a video game.
It felt like if you're wearing a bike helmet and someone just smacks the top of your head.
He didn't realize what happened until he saw the bullet hole in his window, and then realized the bullet bounced off of his headset and ended up in his wall.
You can see the damage. It actually bent this piece of metal right here, and it went through
Jonathan told his parents, who are still stunned.
It's still a trigger for me to still process the thought that I could have lost my son. We were asleep. If it did hurt him, we would not have known until we woke up, hours later.
The family called police, who have reportedly not found the shooter. But the whole incident is putting life into perspective for this teen.
Minding my own business in my own room, and I could have been gone, but I mean, just thinking about it for the first week just made me sick.
The headphone company Razer sent Jonathan a replacement so he can continue to game with confidence.
On 9, a Southland teenager is alive tonight thanks to his gaming headset. It deflected a stray bullet that blasted through his bedroom window. Jonathan Gonzalez and his parents are still trying to process that close call.
Patton police are trying to figure out who fired that bullet. KCAL9's Rick Montanez is live in Harbor Gateway with the story you won't see anywhere else. Rick.
Yeah, Patton, Juan, this is certainly an incredible story. This family counts itself fortunate, and while they still don't know where that stray bullet came from, they're now realizing how close they came to tragedy. This is the gaming headset that 18-year-old Jonathan Gonzalez says saved his life.
You can see the damage. It actually bent this piece of metal right here, and it went through.
Gonzalez is an active gamer. He was on his PlayStation the morning of April 1st, just after midnight, listening to music and chatting with friends, when he felt something hit his head.
It felt like if you're wearing a bike helmet and someone just smacks the top of your head.
He looked up and found a bullet hole in his bedroom window. The gunshot ripped his curtains down. After it struck him in the head, the bullet ricocheted against the wall and landed in his bed.
If it wasn't for these on my head, I mean, it probably would have went through.
He ran to his parents' room shouting he thought he'd been shot. Nearly 2 weeks later, and his family is still trying to process this close call.
It's still a trigger for me to still process the thought that I could have lost my son. We were asleep. If it did hurt him, we would not have known until we woke up, hours later.
When LAPD responded, officers couldn't find the shooter. They don't believe the gun was fired at close range. Gonzalez's mom says even officers couldn't believe what happened.
They were just as shocked.
Gonzalez says he keeps thinking about how an inch in either direction could have changed things drastically.
Minding my own business in my own room, and I could have been gone, but I mean, just thinking about it for the first week just made me sick.
Razer, the company that makes the headset, sent him a replacement. Gonzalez still loves to game, but he says he's now leery of what's happening outside his window. LAPD's Harbor Division is investigating the shooting, and while the Gonzalez family is hoping for an arrest, they tell me they are right now finding new ways to appreciate life a lot more. Live in Harbor Gateway, Rick Montanez, KCAL 9 News.
A very lucky family, Rick.
So, again, I am absolutely distraught that it happened, and again, I mean, I just feel sorry for this kid. The fact that he's probably traumatized, that a gunshot literally went through the window, the bullet went through the window, and it went right into the top of his headset, so close to his skull, he would have laid dead right into there had it not been for the headset. And I would imagine that, him playing video games will forever change. I mean, I would imagine that if he continues to play video games afterwards, he's probably going to have his eyes on the back of his head, probably wondering if there's going to be another bullet that's going to go through the window. I mean, can you imagine what is going through that young man's mind, or at least the family's mind, or anybody who's living in that neighborhood? I mean, that neighborhood must be at least on alert, a bullet going through while this person was playing video games. A lot of people online, by the way, have been absolutely supportive to this young man. In fact, many people online, I read over the past couple of minutes, many of them were saying that luck was truly on his side, and they actually said thankfully he survived. Thankfully, the bullet went at the top of his headset, or at least on his headset, because he did survive that blast. And, I gotta tell you, here in the Gaming Weekly, we broadcast video games each and every single week, and I mean, this is the type of story that we'd love to share to all of you out there in TGW, but the fact of the matter is, bottom line, for all intents and purposes, this is very frightening, though, at the same time. Despite the fact that, yeah, he did survive, you also have to think it was a bullet. I mean, who in the world, who in their right mind would be shooting out in the neighborhood in the middle of the night? I can't necessarily speculate much. I would imagine it's a family-friendly neighborhood. So, I mean, I'm not quite sure exactly what was going on there, but I mean, the entire neighbors must be completely frightened that this actually happened, that somebody was shooting around. Maybe it was some sort of kid out there probably playing with a gun. Maybe it was some sort of gang member. Maybe it was someone out there who was just testing some guns. I'm not quite sure, but nonetheless, the fact of the matter is, listen, I'm a Turtle Beach guy. So I'm hoping Turtle Beach has the same feature because, hey, listen, I'm a huge target out there. Hopefully, if I'm wearing my headset, though, it can save me. But I'm wearing a Turtle Beach headset, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to save me or not. But nonetheless, everybody, thanks for joining us here in the Gaming Weekly. That was a very interesting story we wanted to share with all of you. Literally, a gaming headphone saved this young man's life.